Over-the-counter medicines promise quick fixes, but how many of us are wondering, what am I actually putting into my body? The mysterious ingredients, reoccurring side effects, and endless cost are enough to make anyone question, is there a better way? Well, I want you to imagine this. Instead of reaching for meds with side effects you don't understand, you turn to remedies you've made yourself, which are free of chemicals, packed with nutrients, and are actually designed to heal. And the best part is that transitioning to herbal remedies is easier and cheaper than you think. Plus, this gives you the option to replace dozens of over-the-counter medicines. You know, things like headache pills, skin cream, mouth care, and more can all be made with common kitchen ingredients and herbs. And oh, you also don't need a farm or fancy tools to begin. So if you're ready to begin your herbal journey, settle in, my friend, because in this video, I'm going to show you overlooked places where anyone, yes, anyone, can glean and forage for medicinal herbs, how to craft your own healing salves and tinctures with ease, and how to replace pricey body care products with clean, natural alternatives that you can make yourself. And for those of us with minimal space, I've got you covered with tips for a minimal setup, along with books and tools that truly give you the biggest impact. Because you don't need acres of land or even a full-time commitment to start your journey. An herbal apothecary isn't just for experts or enthusiasts. It's for anyone who wants to simplify, save money, and start working with their body, not against it. Instead of standing in the pharmacy line or scanning the grocery store shelves, I'll have you know that some of the best kept secrets to health are in plain sight. Yep, just waiting for you to notice. Yeah, foraging is not about going far or even being an expert. It's about learning to notice what's already around you and using the seasons as your guide. So let me show you what I mean. When I'm out foraging, one of the first plants I look for is plantain. No, not the banana, but the herbaceous powerhouse that grows practically everywhere. Fresh plantain loves to pop up in overlooked places, like right here next to the pavement on a walking trail tucked behind a residential neighborhood. Plantain is an amazing herb for cuts, stings, and skin irritations. Its leaves are packed with anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and wound-healing properties. Got a sting or a bite? Chew it up into a quick poultice and apply it right to the skin. You'll spot its broad, oval-shaped leaves that grow in a rosette pattern close to the ground. The veins are a dead giveaway. They run parallel from the base to the tip, and when you rip the leaf, you'll notice the little thread-like fibers pulling apart. Further down the path, I found stinging nettle, a nutritional superstar. It is packed with vitamins A, C, K, and iron, making it amazing for energy and overall wellness. You can dry it for tea, saute it like spinach, or infuse it into oils for skincare. Plus, it's fantastic for allergies thanks to its natural antihistamine properties. Nettle has this beautiful, rich green color and jagged, toothy edges on its leaves. The stems and the undersides of the leaves are covered in tiny hairs which can sting if you brush against them, so be careful. That sting might be a bother now, but it's also part of what makes nettle so powerful. I can personally attest to the benefits that I just mentioned about stinging nettle, but it starts at $20 a pound online. But now is completely free now that I know what to look for. There's more that this trail has to offer, including the lesser-known cousin of stinging nettle, wood nettle. Now, unlike stinging nettle, wood nettle prefers shady woodlawn areas like this. Its leaves are rounder and slightly thinner with a more delicate feel, and while it still has those famous stinging hairs, they're less concentrated than on stinging nettle, so it's a little friendlier to harvest. Now, both are nutritional powerhouses and can be used in similar ways, from teas to sautés, but wood nettle has a slightly milder flavor, making it a great choice for beginners starting to try wild greens. Same benefits, just a little less sting. Now, raspberry leaves are one of my favorite forage finds, and they're surprisingly easy to spot if you know what to look for. You can identify raspberry leaf plants year-round by their leaves, serrated edges, a pale underside, and a slightly fuzzy feel. Now, in late spring and early summer, these plants bloom with their delicate white flowers, followed by those juicy, delicious raspberries we all love. They're best known for their ability to support women's health, helping with everything from menstrual cramps to pregnancy preparation. Dried and brewed into a tea, they're a soothing, everyday tonic for wellness. My goodness, look how full my basket is! Mullein is one of those plants that starts to stand out when you know how to spot it. It starts as a rosette of soft silvery green leaves that almost look like they're covered in layers of velvet and sends up a stalk in its second year that blooms these bright yellow flowers throughout the summer. Mullein is a classic remedy for respiratory health. Its leaves and flowers are often used in teas, tinctures to soothe coughs or to clear congestion. She's too young to harvest, so I'll come back a little later. Now, yarrow is one of those herbs that you can find almost anywhere, even here at this park. You want to look for these feathery, fern-like leaves which stay green year-round, even when it's not in bloom. And then come late spring to summer, yarrow blooms with clusters of tiny white or pink flowers. It's a natural first aid herb, great for stopping bleeding, soothing cuts, or brewing into tea for colds and digestion. Lemongrass is one of my favorite herbs to spot, and you'll usually find it growing in sunny places. You want to look for tall, bright green stalks with a citrusy scent when you crush the leaves. When it's freshly harvested, you get the highest levels of its essential oils, which give it that signature citrusy aroma and its zesty flavor, which is perfect for teas, soups, and stir fries. Plus, it's packed with antioxidants and great for calming digestion or even warding off bugs. I have really enjoyed using the Picture This app, which is the highest rated plant identification app at 98%, along with 2 to 3 region-specific field guides or foraging books. And then I'll also harvest a small sample to compare it against videos that I watch here on YouTube from field experts. And I also use the scratch and sniff test because many herbs have distinct aromas when their leaves or stems are crushed. It is always a good idea to verify plants using multiple methods, and everything that you see me harvest in this video has gone through that vetting process. And oh, this is something called a hori hori knife, which is a must-have for gardeners and foragers alike. With a sharp edge for cutting, a serrated knife for sawing, and a pointed tip for digging, it is perfect for harvesting herbs, pulling weeds, or planting. It's like a knife, trowel, and saw all in one handy tool. If this is our first time meeting, hi, I'm Cassandra from the blog becomingafarmgirl.com. I'm here to help you live a farm fresh life without land or livestock in a small space and in your spare time. And if you're fired up about ways to reclaim your food, fix your pharmacy, and fuel your health, but feel stuck on where to start, I'll show you how to go from clueless to confident in no time. So I keep a foraging bag when I go out. Well, actually I have 2. So one stays in the trunk of my car, and then the other one stays in the house, and then I'll grab it when I'm walking my dog. And I like keeping 2 because as I'm driving, the more that I forage, like this just happens to you, like I'm driving and I'm like, oh, what is that? I think that's this, and like that kind of thing. And so I never know where I'm going to be. And so I just like having my tools and stuff with me, or maybe if I've intentionally, I'm in my car and I'm going to a specific park, the items are there, and then I just don't have to worry about like, did I leave the bag in the house, that kind of thing. But I have another bag that stays home because there are there's like multiple subdivisions in my neighborhood and they're connected by these paths. And so I'll have something that's just in the house with me as I'm walking through. All right, so these are my 2 foraging bags. This smaller backpack is the one that just stays in the house. And this larger one is what I take when I'm like out at a park. I got both of these from the thrift store, and that's what I would encourage you all to do. I especially like this bag because when you're outside, it came with this like rubber bottom because, I'm usually like taking it off as I'm harvesting or things like that. But they both have the same things that are like in the bags. And so I'll just kind of show you what I like to keep inside. I mean, not too much. Oh my goodness, I love these. I love this. I just got it off of Amazon. And so this is what you need because it's an all-in-one tool going to serve you so well. So I love it because especially if you're trying to dig up something that has a really big like root ball or like a very thick stem, this thing does the job. I mean, it is a must-have for sure when you're out foraging. It's a tool that does it all. And then I also like to keep a pair of long gardening gloves because you never know kind of like what you're touching. It could cause like itchiness or just redness or irritation, especially like for stinging nettle. And so it's really nice to have a pair of gloves. And then I usually have like multiple bags in here because I'll likely be harvesting, 2 or 3 things. So I have a regular bag like this. I don't always like my items to touch, so I'll just have, if there's a bag that I've already used and I can just wash and rinse it, I'll keep reusing, these plastic bags. And yeah, my water bottle, that's really it. Oh, hey, I just realized that I forgot to mention that I like to keep these trail marking tacks. So these are great for, I actually just started to hunt a little over a year ago. And so sometimes when I do start to like wander deep off of the paths, these are great because I can spot out and easily retrace my steps to just kind of like put them into like a tree trunk. And so yes, if you are kind of gonna go like off route, these are awesome. So I'll just stick them on my way in and then collect them on my way out. Now finding your herbs, that's just the beginning. The real beauty of herbalism is the many ways that you can preserve and use their benefits. You can turn your herbs into tinctures, which last for years, or as infused oils for soothing remedies, dehydrate them for teas, or freeze dry them so that they'll keep every bit of their potency. And regardless of your goal, there's always a super simple method behind it. So let me show you how to do it.
After harvesting, always place your fresh herbs in a basket or open container. This gives them plenty of air circulation, lets any hidden bugs crawl out, and keeps your herbs fresh and clean before you process them. Once the herbs are bug-free, I gently place them on my freeze dryer racks, spreading them out for even drying. If they weren't growing close to the ground or in a high traffic area, I skip washing them with water to avoid the excess moisture. Washing can actually reduce shelf life and delay the drying process. Freeze drying is my go-to because it preserves the highest amount of nutrients, color, and flavor, locking in everything that makes these herbs so powerful. Once done, they're as fresh as the day they were harvested, ready for teas, remedies, or cooking. Now, if you don't have a freeze dryer, that is absolutely not a problem because when I harvest fresh herbs, one of my favorite ways to preserve their benefits is by making a tincture. Tinctures are super simple to create. You just chop your fresh herbs, place them in a jar, and then cover them with high-proof alcohol. Tincturing extracts and concentrates the plant's active compounds, giving you long-lasting, potent remedies that are ready when you need it. Plus, tinctures take up very little space and are easy to do. They're perfect for those of us building a small apothecary. It's a powerful, practical way to capture the essence of your herbs. If you don't have a freeze dryer, a regular dehydrator is a fantastic way to preserve your herbs, and that's exactly what I'm doing with these mullein and wild comfrey leaves. Dehydrators work by gently removing moisture, which helps extend the shelf life without sacrificing too much of the plant's nutrients. Now for herbs, you're going to set your dehydrator to the lowest heat setting, usually around 95 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit, and this preserves their medicinal properties. You're just going to lay the leaves in a single layer, making sure that they're not overlapping, and let the dehydrator do all the work. Once dried, these leaves will be crisp, lightweight, and perfect for teas, poultices, or powdered remedies. And now that my mullein and wild comfrey leaves are dried, I'm making an herbal infusion using avocado oil. I love using avocado oil because it's nutrient-rich, long-lasting, and penetrates the skin deeply, making it an excellent carrier for herbal remedies. Mullein has been known for centuries for its anti-inflammatory properties, making it perfect for soothing sore muscles or irritated skin, while comfrey is a superstar for promoting wound healing and reducing inflammation. By infusing these leaves, I'm creating a powerful, all-natural oil that's great for salves, massages, or even as a base for skincare. Now, are there times when I want to harvest something from a spot that isn't as ideal? Yes, of course. And so this is the process that I will follow. I will bring my herbs home, initially kind of shake off the dirt, and then I will create a vinegar water solution of 1 part vinegar to 3 parts water. And I'll allow the herbs to just kind of soak in that for a minimum of 10 to 15 minutes. And then I'll also add in just some vegetable wash spray as well. And I'll give things a good kind of, shake down just with my hands. And so then after I remove topically the dirt, I will take my salad spinner, and this is where I will rinse off my herbs and then use the spinner to kind of dry things out. And I will repeat this process after I inspect them maybe 2 or 3 times until I can see that the herbs are fully cleaned. And then what I'll do, it was a nice day outside, so I just took these herbs and I laid them on my basket to sit outside to initially dry before I move them to the dehydrator.
Now, as you're foraging, one of the most important things you can do is to document where you're finding what. And this is sometimes known as a sit spot. And these spots are like treasure maps showing you where certain plants thrive throughout the seasons. But if you're like me and drawing isn't your strong suit, a photography journal will be your best friend. And this is where you just snap a couple of photos of the plant in its environment. I usually like to get one that is up close, and then I'll back up a few feet and then get one from like the right side, the left side, a couple of different angles where I can triangulate kind of where along the path or off the path I am when I go back, in the following weeks or months.
I picked up this 4x6 200 photo genuine leather album for just $25 on Amazon. It features a strap to clasp the binder closed and writing sheets, making it perfect for combining printed pictures with my field notes. The plastic is very heavy duty and the cardstock is also very sturdy. So far, I have loved the compact size of this journal, its flexibility, durability, and the fact that it's a binder so I can customize where I want the pages. Now, whenever I take a photo, it's usually just 4 to 10 prints, and I automatically schedule them to print and pick up using the 1-hour CVS Photo Center because it's fast and there's not a minimum for the number of pictures that you have to print. And then I will just tab the pages by the name of the herb, which I have found across several parks or paths and places where I live and work and shop. And then I'll just write a description so that I know where I can find it again. I cannot emphasize how if you are serious about foraging, you are going to want to create some type of notebook like this because it will be your go-to and something that you will use for years. In just a moment, I'm going to give you an update on how much this has grown, but oh my goodness, this is my most, besides my hori knife, my most important foraging tool.
That of all of my herbal books, that this one that I created is the most important because in this book, well, unlike your other herbal books that are telling you kind of about the plant and maybe the conditions that it likes to grow, when you're out foraging, there is no other book that you can buy that will tell you exactly where to find those medicinal herbs unless you have your own notebook like this. And one of the things, I think you're either like 2 types of people. So my husband is the kind of person that kind of knows an area by like the street signs and the highways and byways and like the way he gives directions is he gets so frustrated the way that I do it because he'll be like, oh yeah, you're gonna get onto I-95 and then take exit 32 and then you're gonna go down I-23. Like I am not that kind of person. My mind does not work that way at all. I am the kind of person that gives directions like, okay, so once you go down this street, you're gonna make a right-hand turn and you're gonna keep going down until you get to the big church. And then you're gonna make that left and then you're gonna keep going until you see that really big oak tree. I know, like I drive by landmarks. And so as I started to compile my notebook early last spring, the thing that I've been living in my city for, goodness, like over a decade now. And I have never felt so connected to my bioregion as I do now with this. Because now where I live isn't just a grid of streets and stores, but now I can say, okay, if you are at this particular park, you're going to walk several paces and that's where the chamomile grows. Or if you're looking for burdock, it is off the path about a mile back. And these are the original landmarks that are in your area that you only intimately know as a result of being aware of your environment. And I will have you know that these are descriptions here. So here's where I've kind of built up to. I still hope to find a lot more this year. But as I kind of take the pictures as I was showing you, I will scribe the directions that make sense for me, right? So the directions to find this stinging nettle, you're gonna cross the iron bridge, pass the first roundabout to the neighborhood entry, walk for 1 to 2 minutes. Makes sense to me though. Patch on right-hand side immediately off the pavement or the pedestrian walkway. For this, where I found some bitter dock, and I'll put things like the location, the discovery date, and then because I'll find like different things. But anyway, the directions for this one reads, where is it bitter dock is the better question, immediately upon entry of the path and all over. So yeah, there's that. Pokeweed, a small patch on the right-hand side immediately upon formal entry of the path. And then I'll like also add in different like articles sometimes that I find that I want to kind of have with me. Look at this huge mullein plant that I found earlier this year. Y'all, isn't that insane? So yeah, you definitely have to make yourself a notebook. It's going to be so valuable because there's no way that I am remembering as I discover now, like, first there were like 5 things that I started to recognize, then 10, 20, 30, all these things. But having this book year after year at popular spots that again are in my area really puts me at an advantage year after year after year of finding, what I need right here in my bioregion. Now, not every foraging trip is going to yield what you need. And that's okay. Because when you can't forage it, you can probably grow it, even in the smallest spaces. And that's where my green stalk vertical planters come in.
Taking advantage of vertical growing systems like the very affordable planters that you see me harvesting from is truly both a practical and efficient way to make the most out of growing in a small space. And for me, it's just a deck here in my townhouse. I'll link to my full deck garden tours where I'm growing over 200 crops in just a few square feet, but cut and come again crops like mint, stevia, and lemongrass, along with dozens of other herbs, are actually affordable when you grow them from home. Now, you might be wondering, am I some type of expert gardener? Heck no, not even close. Luckily, most herbs are hardy and grow despite any action or inaction on your part. All right, we've got these herbs bundled up and ready to hang to air dry. Not bad for a harvest on my deck, right?
When it comes to building your herbal apothecary, here is my golden rule. Only buy what you can't forage or grow. Not only is this a frugal strategy, but it keeps you dialed into the herbs that are the most accessible and abundant in your area. I mean, you've seen the prices out there, and so that's why foraging and growing your own herbs will save you the most amount of money. So then you're just buying the specialty herbs that you can't find or cultivate. And this ensures that your budget stays on track while still giving you a wide variety of remedies.
Making your own tinctures at home is one of the best ways to preserve the power of herbs and create potent, long-lasting remedies. Tinctures are highly concentrated herbal extracts made by soaking plants in either alcohol or glycerin, which pulls out the active compounds that gives the herbs their medicinal properties. Now, this process is almost too simple. You're going to fill a jar about halfway with dried herbs and then cover them completely with high-proof alcohol. Vodka or brandy works great. And then you'll seal the jar, give it a good shake, and let it sit in a cool, dark place for about 4 to 6 weeks, shaking occasionally. Once strained, you're left with a powerful, shelf-stable remedy that can last for years. Tinctures are incredibly potent, meaning that you only need a few drops to reap the benefits. Plus, they're fast-acting because they're absorbed quickly by the body. And by making your own tinctures, you gain control over the ingredients, you save money, and have access to personalized, effective remedies whenever you need them. It's a simple process with big rewards.
Making your own pills is one of the biggest savings in herbal medicine, and it's easier than you might think. Why pay top dollar for something that you can make at home for a fraction of the cost? I know, store-bought pills are convenient, but have you ever stopped to look at what's in them? And this is especially the nutritional supplements. I mean, they are packed with fillers. And you want to look for words like magnesium stearate, silica, maltodextrin. Those and other ingredients serve no purpose for health, and they can sometimes upset your digestive system or cause other unwanted side effects. Which is why when you make your own herbal pills, you're in full control. And it goes beyond just saving money because you're also ensuring that each pill is pure, that it's potent, and it's only packed with the herbs that you choose. No fillers, no binders, just the real healing power of herbs.
Let's talk about how you can start replacing pricey supplements with your own DIY versions. Today, I'm replacing these Vitex capsules that I used to buy for hormone and female reproductive health. Now, this little bottle cost around $25 for just 60 capsules, and you have to take 2 a day. But with bulk chaseberry, also called Vitex, I can make my own capsules and tinctures for a fraction of the cost. So I'm just using my little capsule machine. It's size 00, which makes 24 capsules at home. Now, these capsules are made from 100% vegetable cellulose, which is easy to digest, and it dissolves in the intestinal tract, and there's no fillers or preservatives. So the first thing I do is I just load the empty capsules into the base, and then I scoop the powdered chaseberry over the top. And then next, I just use the scraper to spread the powder evenly. And while I've got my chaseberry powder out, I'm going to go ahead and make a tincture. And so I'm just going to take some of the chaseberry powder and then fill a jar about halfway and pour over high-proof vodka over the top until the berries are fully submerged. And then all I'll do is just seal the jar and give it a good shake and let this sit in a cool, dark place for about 6 weeks, shaking it occasionally. All right, so let's get back to our capsules. And this is the top part that you take the tops of the other part of your capsule and you just press them into each of those little pockets. And y'all, I cannot tell you that I just love the ease and simplicity of something that isn't mechanical, it's manual, it's simple, it's gonna last. So then you take this thingy and you just like press your powder further into the capsules. You tamper it down a bit. I mean, you really can pack a lot in here. And then you take the top part of this thing and you just give it a good little, like, line it up, press it down, and this snaps your capsules together. And then you lift it up and you're going to see, like, just like that, you have created 24 capsules, which I think is the perfect size. If you need more, you just do this, a couple of times. But just like that, you have your own capsules sourced either with fresh or dried herbs, again, for a fraction of the cost. So this thing is easy to clean, easy to assemble. And then this is just so cool to pop them out. You just press on that little bottom thingy and voila, they easily come out and you're ready to scoop them into a bottle. Okay, so let's talk savings. A pound of bulk chaseberries cost about $12 and will last me several months. Now compare that to the $25 bottle that I used to regularly buy, and you can see how quickly this pays off. Plus, I can make exactly what I need when I need it without worrying about running out. So with just a few tools and some bulk herbs, you can start replacing expensive supplements with your own custom remedies. Let's talk about oral care. This was another area where I made the switch from store-bought to homemade, and let me tell you, the benefits have been incredible. Most store-bought products are designed to kill bacteria, good and bad. The problem is they strip your mouth's natural biome, leaving your teeth and gums vulnerable over time. Instead, you could be using nourishing ingredients to make a creamy herbal toothpaste. Now, for this recipe, we're starting with coconut oil, which is the base of our toothpaste. Coconut oil is naturally antibacterial and helps create that smooth, creamy texture. You're going to add about 2 tablespoons to your bowl, and then you're going to add bentonite clay, which is a mineral-rich ingredient that gently polishes teeth, removes toxins, and supports remineralization. Add a tablespoon and stir it into the coconut oil until you get a paste-like consistency. As your coconut oil starts to warm up a bit, you're going to get this creamy texture. And I'm telling you, it has that mouthfeel like the store-bought toothpaste that you're used to. I mean, it's just so creamy and rich and actually tastes really good. And now for some extra tooth love, we're going to add just a pinch of magnesium powder. And again, that helps to add different minerals. And to that, you're going to add a teaspoon of baking soda. Baking soda is a natural abrasive that helps whiten teeth and neutralize acids. For flavor and other added benefits, we're going to sprinkle in a pinch of Ceylon cinnamon and ground cloves. Cinnamon is naturally antimicrobial, while cloves are great for soothing gums and fighting bacteria. And finally, we're going to add just a few drops of peppermint oil for that refreshing minty taste. Peppermint oil is also antibacterial and leaves your mouth feeling super clean. So you're just going to keep stirring until everything comes together in a creamy, spreadable paste, and that's it. You've just made a nourishing natural toothpaste that supports your oral health without stripping away the good bacteria. And I store it just by using these silicone reusable, they're like the travel size bottles. And I especially love these because they come with the clasp top that you're kind of used to using for your standard toothpaste, and then you can just squeeze it out. So, I mean, like putting this on your toothbrush is not problematic or tedious or anything like that at all. So I just go ahead and I pack my homemade toothpaste into my reusable bottles. All right, so let me show you what your new morning routine will look like. You'll just take the cap off, and then as I shared, you're just gonna go ahead and squeeze your toothpaste onto your toothbrush. And let me tell you, you will pay a premium at health food stores for all natural toothpaste. But this comes together for just, pennies on the dollar when you're working with just a few dried herbs and spices and coconut oil. It is well worth it to make your own natural toothpaste.
For those of us with fur babies, you know that pet care can cost a fortune, whether it's allergy meds, supplements, or everyday grooming. But here's the good news. Your apothecary can work just as well for them as it does for you. Okay, here's the disclaimer. I'm not a doctor, herbalist, or a health guru. I have no course to sell you. This isn't a sponsorship. I don't have a product pitch. I just want to show how a person that's curious about herbs can approach them in a non-intimidating way. Because venturing into herbs can get technical quick and feel like a lot. Well, at least that's what I thought. The recipes that I'm sharing with you are simple, safe, and totally DIY friendly. So for anything serious, consult someone with a diploma, do your research, consult your professional, yada yada, you get it. Okay, let's move on.
So the recipe that I'm about to share with you is one that I took from the book Herbs for Pets, The Natural Way to Enhance Your Pet's Life by Gregory Tilford and Mary Wolfe. And what I especially like is that all of the herbs that I'm about to show you, you're just going to combine them in equal parts. And I like to make a big batch of this just to have on hand as I make Thor's food. And so I'm now just going to read from the book, and it says that this formula can be fed at a rate of 1 teaspoon per pound of food, fed daily, a half teaspoon for cats, as an adjunct to a natural diet. While it may not fulfill all of an animal's supplemental nutritional needs, it will complement his diet with food-like concentrations of fully assimilable protein, vitamin C, B complex, including B12, vitamin A, beta-carotene, vitamin E, vitamin K, iron, potassium, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and omega-3 fatty acids. If your fur baby starts to encounter any health, joint, or skin issues, you are going to immediately notice the markup that you're going to pay on supplements either at the vet's office or even online. And what I love is that this is something that I can just sneak into his food, so I don't have to, buy those capsules that I then have to sneak into something that he's actually going to eat. And so knowing that I'm getting these powerful concentrations of nutrients and phytonutrients has just been an added blessing that again is affordable. Now let's pair the natural toothpaste we made with an herbal mouthwash that gets even better. You're going to start by adding several cinnamon sticks along with a tablespoon or so of allspice or cloves, and these provide the antimicrobial and antioxidant properties to help fight bacteria and protect your gums. Next, you're going to add a few small pieces of frankincense resin. This resin is soothing, it's anti-inflammatory, and helps to tighten gum tissue, which is a real powerhouse for oral health. Now go ahead and add your fresh herbs. I'm using a handful of each of rosemary, oregano, and thyme, along with plenty of fresh sage. So sage is especially important for its anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial properties, while the other herbs support overall gum health and help to freshen your breath. All right, I think I'm going to top things off with dried calendula for its healing and its soothing benefits. And since you can't go wrong with mint, and especially because it is growing like crazy, I decided just to go ahead and stuff a bit of that into my jar. As you saw me do earlier, you're just going to cover everything with high-proof vodka or brandy and fill the jar to about an inch above the herbs and the spices. The alcohol acts as a solvent, so it's going to extract and preserve the active compounds. And then you just seal the jar tightly. You're going to give it a good shake and store it in a cool, dark place. You want to shake it about once a day, and in about 6 weeks, you'll have a concentrated herbal tincture. When it's ready, you're just going to strain it into a clean bottle, and it's good to go. And then to use, you'll add about 10 to 15 drops to a small glass of water for this refreshing antibacterial mouth rinse that supports gum health and balances your oral biome. What I love is that this tincture lasts for months. It gives you total control over your ingredients and is incredibly nourishing for your teeth and gums. Plus, it's easy, it's effective, and completely natural. One thing that I like to do is just kind of write the different combinations that I use in each of my tinctures, because I do absolutely switch things up depending on availability. And you want to do this, right? It gives you the ability to kind of customize maybe different issues that you are having, different kind of active compounds that you want to either emphasize. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, so now let's talk about my Apothecary. Is it Pinterest perfect? Not even close. But you know what? It's realistic, it's right size, and it works for me. And that's what matters most. So let's just keep it real and we'll get into a quick little tour. And then let me know if you want me to go into something in another video that's a bit more detailed. All right, y'all. So this is just a quick little overview. And as I am in a townhouse, this corner hutch has been awesome. I thrifted it off of Facebook Marketplace for like $80. And sorry for the screeching sound. I'm gonna stand on a chair. All right, so what's in here is just kind of what's in here. Things are always kind of shifting around as I need and use them. I have been able to glean a number of bottles like this from the thrift store over many different years. And so what I like to do is just name the different herbs that I have, different tinctures that I may be in the process of making, some dried kind of like fruits. Sometimes I like to do, I showed this in another video, like tea blends that are already ready to go. Sometimes at night, I will just turn on these little, like this little candle here. It's battery operated. I just like the way that it looks since my cabinets are glass. But yeah, then I also just have kind of foraged turkey and rooster feathers because I have a lot of farm friends and I help them with that. And so here's my collection. This is out of direct sunlight. I do have some amber jars, but these are just mason jars because I am a food preserver, so I already have tons of mason jars. I have my little tea set here because I enjoy teas. And then down below, these are all things that I just have kind of macerating. So I always include like what it is. And I need to decant a lot of these things because anything beyond like 8 weeks or so, it's good to go. But I just haven't as of yet. And then I have some backup kind of supplies, the Castile soap, avocado oil is my preferred oil, some half-gallon jars of some other bulk herbs. And then below here, I just have a curated set of books that I have found really helpful. Just again, some more like materials that I use, some backup kind of like bottles, funnels, glasses, my time capsule machine, my kitchen calculator. This thing is awesome if you don't want to do math in terms of like conversions. It's truly like, let me pull this out a little bit. But yeah, it is a calculator that you just plug in, like, see how the weights are like cup, tablespoon, teaspoon, dry ounce, fluid ounce, timer 1, 2, recipe and servings. Like this has been awesome. I don't know, some other things that are back here. But yeah, I can go ahead and give you a full tour. And then over here, underneath my kitchen hutch, I have some other things that I also need to decant, other tinctures that have been here. Now these are in amber jars just because they're closer out to like the main living space that's here. This is some Maryland forage turkey tail that I've also got to decant. But this essentially is my entire setup minus all of the other things that I have that are dispersed around my home. But here's everything.
In this video, you've seen me take fresh or dried herbs, combine them with a solvent in a jar, and then let nature do the work. Plants are part of our health and healing journey, and even with simple, basic knowledge, you can reclaim your agency. Now, in my mind, I just stopped thinking that I needed a particular brand or prescription and instead started asking, how do I get my hands on the active compounds, which led me to herbs. It's been such a fulfilling journey, and I hope that yours is just as rewarding as mine has been.
To get more inspiration on how to set up a simple apothecary along with delicious kitchen recipes, click on the video on your screen. I'll see you in my kitchen or garden soon. Take care, friends.